All right, morning everyone. Welcome.
Morning.
Hello, Anne.
Hi, Melanie.
So I'm Melanie, I'm the off-camera voice, and I'm going to be introducing Anne, and then Anne is your presenter for today. But we've got some pretty interesting stuff for you in terms of new grants, wage subsidies, trying to untangle a bit of the tangle. Hey. So Anne will introduce herself in a moment, but she is the owner of our college here at Global Training Institute, and she is also a resident expert on anything to do with bureaucracy, government grants and other things. Yeah, she's actually only 21, she just looks 40. Anne, would you like to just tell us a 2-minute story of who you are and how you got here, and introduce yourself, and then we'll go straight into the content.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Melanie. All right, thanks everyone for joining us today. Look, we totally understand it is a frustrating world out there at the moment. With so many of our states in lockdown, so many of our businesses going in and out, government departments just telling us what we've got to do and we have no idea. So I'm a business owner, and so is Melanie. I own Global Training Institute here. We've been in RTO for the last 16 years, so we have ridden lots of waves. We have offices in New South Wales, which of course are closed at the moment, so people are working from home and things like that. We've got over 2/3 of our staff working from home at the moment. I'm based in our Queensland office, but yeah, we've had lockdowns as well. So, and I was just talking to one of our company coordinators this morning from New South Wales, and she said, Anne, it's just so hard working from home. So yeah, totally.
Especially for those people that have got kids at home and things.
Oh yes, and and I'm talking to people that are trying to basically to homeschool in the morning and still coordinate and run their businesses in the afternoon. And things, so look, we really get it. So we'll plan to have a little bit of fun, keep it a bit lighthearted for you this morning, so that it is a bit of a break to your day. We totally get it that it is really hard to understand what's out there, how it all works and everything. But yeah, Melanie owns her own business as well. She owns a consulting business, and yeah, she gets it as well. She's got employees in multiple states and trying to juggle all of this as well. I made our theme for the year flexibility at the beginning of the year.
Oh, so this is your fault.
And I'm really I'm glad I did, because I knew we would have to be flexible this year. We would just have to be bending this way and that way and just going with the flow to get through the year. And and it really has been that way. And as well as keeping yourself motivated and updated, it's also keeping your employees. So today on the webinar, we will have a bunch of different people. We've got people that I know are looking for work, and I really feel for you guys out there at the moment, but we've got some tips and things for you. We've got some employees and we've got some coordinators. And I will do a shout out to Sue. Sue is a coordinator from Richmond Valley Council, and we've been working with Sue for the last over 10 years. Now, Sue, we're not old, but
and we saw her name on the registration.
But so Sue's been around for 10 years. A lot of our students have been around for a long time as well, that keep coming back and doing other qualifications with us. Great delight this week to have Cameron Stewart come and join us again. He was a student back in 2007. And he's back on again. So it's, doing another totally different qualification, but still remembers where we did our training, the books we gave him, everything he learned. So we've had great time of chatting up. So chatting with him.
So today we're going to cover the wage subsidies that are related to training, the wage subsidies that are unrelated to training, and the training subsidies that are unrelated to wages, if we get all those three right. So there's a whole lot of different subsidies, and Anne is really good at unpacking them, and she'll be able to explain them to you. And as she said, they're for a range of different, whether you're an employer or an employee or trying to be an employee, there's something here for you.
We have. And don't worry about taking any notes, because what Melanie and I have done is created a quick check sheet for you with all of the links on it. So at the end of the webinar, when we send you through a copy of the webinar, we'll also send you a copy of all of the links. And if you then get to the end of the link and still don't know how to understand what the government have written for you, then just give us a call and we will then help it to unpack it for you. But our note and our disclaimer we have to do at the beginning of the session is that this is a general information session, because we just kind of have more time and live on these websites. But it's a general information. Anything for you specifically, you're going to have to, that's financially involved, you're going to have to need to talk to your accountant. But otherwise, you can let us know. And we have a little sheet at the end where you'll be able to just put your names of some people forward, and we can run some scenarios for you and your business forward from there as well.
So process for today is be 30 minutes maximum presentation, but fire your questions in as you're going. So if you've got any questions, just pop them in. I will read them out to Anne as we go if they're appropriate at that point. If not, I'll make sure we've covered them all at the end. If a couple of people could just jump in the chat for me and just confirm that the audio is fine, that would be awesome. Thank you. Just let me know that you can hear us properly and everything. Hi, Sue. Sue says hi. So I presume that means the audio is okay. So we, so just any questions, because it is confusing, and Anne is really good at making it unconfusing. So if she's explained something and you needed to run through it again in another way, or you've got another question, then just drop it into either into the chat or into the Q&A, and I'll make sure they all get covered. Because the point of this is that we really want to make sure that we help people understand this stuff. It is so confusing and it's really challenging times. So if we can use our little superpowers, which is understanding bureaucracy, then let's use them.
And just making sure that you get to access what is available to you as well. So that's myself and my husband Shane. So Global Training Institute, been around for the last over 16 years. We're here to stay, not going anywhere.
How many employees have you got now?
About 40, about 40 employees at the moment. We've got graduation coming up on Thursday night. We're really excited by that. So there's over 170 something or other students graduating, and that's just since our April graduation.
Nice.
Lots of there's probably over 1,000 something or other students training with us at the moment, but really excited to celebrate with them on Thursday night for all of their accomplishments and achievements, because these people, when you think of it now, August, they've been training with us last 12 months. They came right smack in the middle of COVID, have worked through
and finished
and all of that and finished. So really excited with it, to celebrate with them. Of course, it's got to be done online. The trainers, we've got great passionate trainers. They're really excited. They actually get to eat the graduation cake.
Right, because nobody else can.
Nobody else can. So everybody zooms in. They all make a hat and graduation hat.
I don't think Zoom cake's the same somehow.
No, but the carrot cake that we buy is really yummy. So the trainers love to come and eat.
We'll talk briefly at the end about the whole online training delivery
and how it works and everything. Yes, we will.
Okay, so let's get into it. So who is this for? Who are we talking to?
Okay, so we do. Melanie and I have good news for employers, new employees, and those if you're looking for employment or you're currently employed. So there are some really good opportunities out there at the moment in all states and territories. Probably majority of people will be on the webinar today are from New South Wales, so we'll spend more time, but don't worry, the sheets that we have here cover off all states and territories.
Okay, so first of all, from the employer's point of view, and some of this is also going to be relevant if you're an employee. So
absolutely.
Anyway.
Yes.
Do you want to just rattle through these are the things that we're going to actually cover today?
So one of the differences we're going to be looking at today is what's available from the federal or the Commonwealth government, so what ScoMo releases from theirs and what the states do. Because what happens is people will get confused to think that you can't have both, but you've got to look and keep in mind that what the Commonwealth and each of the states are all very different.
Because there's some things where you can't double dip and some things where you are genuinely allowed to claim both.
Claiming both, because so the Commonwealth does kind of give the money to the states, but they run separate programs. So we'll be looking at what Commonwealth programs are and what state programs are. And so some of the ones that are out there at the moment, there'll be one that we'll talk about quite in depth is the BACK program, which is a wage subsidy and a training program. New South Wales have got going at the moment JobSaver, which is their dollars for if you have lost income and things. So we'll cover a bit about that because there's lots of questions and miscommunication around that one at the moment. Victoria's got a Victoria Jobs Fund that we'll have a look at. Queensland's got lots of getting back to work payments available for people to get back into things. And then we've got incentives for other states. And then there's a bunch of free courses that are potentially out there as well.
And what's this last bit about, saving 90%?
So this is one where we can look at combining both the BACK program, which is a 50% wage subsidy for 12 months. And if you happen to have lost dollars or your turnover's down in New South Wales, it's sort of for 40%. And so 40 and 50 can
get 90%.
Can get sort of 90%. So look, as an employer, we're looking for that security and we're looking for that peace of mind at the moment too. And then I know that both of us know that when we've got people on our wage rebate scenarios, which we're doing, both of us have got them under the BACK program, we know we're getting half our people's wages paid for this year.
And it's a nice feeling, isn't it, where you go, okay, I've got half the wages covered for the whole year. And if you're in New South Wales and you've lost revenue, then you've got 90% covered, at least for the duration of lockdown, and then you've still got the remaining 50% for the rest. So we'll explain a bit more about that.
Because we all know that our employees are just such the valued team members that we need to keep our businesses going.
And if you're not constantly stressing about whether you can afford to keep people, then that's one thing you don't have to be.
Definitely.
Okay, so
so definitely upskilling your people gives them the loyalty, gives them the security to keep them attached to your business as well.
And what if you're an employee and you're listening? Because I know we've got a handful of people who are currently in work but not the employer.
Okay, so there is lots of professional development opportunities for you at the moment. If you are involved in work currently, then we have some qualifications that you can do as an employee, which are either come with a wage rebate for you, so up to 50% of your wage rebated, and your employer will either be a free qualification or your employer has got dollars in their wage rebate to use for paying for your training.
Okay.
There's also jobs new funding coming out as well, which will cover for that employees can be taking advantage of. So it depends again on the employee as to how much, depending what state you're in, as to receive any sort of government incentives. Will allow you into different buckets of funding.
So we will explain it.
Yes, we'll explain all of those.
Okay, and what about if you're looking for work and you're not currently working?
Okay, if you are looking for work, you have the best news to go and stand out from the crowd, because you can tell your future employer that you get to come with a $28,000 wage subsidy.
Plus more if you're currently unemployed.
Yeah, plus a heap more if you're currently unemployed. And so it's a free qualification to you. And there's short courses that you can be currently doing as well. And we also have a stand out from the crowd employment kit. Just contact us, let us know, and we'll send you that. It lets you know how to, we've got lots of great ideas of how to get your resume rewritten, your cover letter. Most people, if they follow our instructions on the cover letter, actually get to the interview stage, and you've got to get to the interview and then you can actually sell yourself.
Right, and there are some free courses coming up, or if you're, even if you don't get a job, aren't there? So
there are, yes, and keep in mind the word job trainer for you if you're looking for work.
Okay, so let's go through the first one first, because the back program, which you'll need to explain what it is, but that covers all the states and it's beneficial for employers and employees, isn't it?
Yes, so we'll cover that one first and spend a little bit more time on that one. Yeah.
Okay, so what is it?
Okay, so it's a government initiative, Commonwealth, so Commonwealth government, called Boosting Apprenticeship Commencements, but don't worry, it's got nothing about apprenticeships, and it's really got nothing about commencements. So the government brought it out end of last year. It allows employees, both existing and new workers, to access half the wages rebated, so up to 50% of your wages rebated for a person, so $7,000 a quarter.
So it's capped at $7,000.
It's capped at $7,000 a quarter, and then you also get to do a free training program within there. Either the employer pays, or depending on the state, whether the state pays for that.
Okay.
And so, well and truly, you're covering saving over $22,000.
So you said it's not just for apprentices?
No. So what? Okay, it's for all of your people that are either Australian citizens, permanent residents, or Kiwis that have been here more than 6 months are all eligible. You just have to sign up into a recognised traineeship, which go from certificate 4s and diplomas. And there's
right, because a lot of people have a perception that a traineeship or an apprenticeship is for a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
So here you're doing courses that fall under this umbrella, but they are for grown-ups, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, so all of the majority of our people that work with us are sort of 28 plus to sort of 65-year-olds, and all on this program. So it just allows you to register. You do register as a trainee, either a new worker or an existing worker, and come onto a program, do it over the 12 months with us, and then your employer also receives the dollars of your $28,000 wage rebate.
So specifically, what companies can do it?
Okay, so all businesses, organisations and local councils. I know Sue's got some on with us from her local council. So anyone can basically access it. It's just finding the right course for your people.
So it's not just states that are in lockdown or anything. This is the whole country.
This is the whole country, yeah. The government allocated $2.7 billion to this for this new rollout for it. They were running the program at the end of last year as well, but they've released another $2.7 billion for it now. Currently, it's to be going to the end of March next year. But with everything being flexible, we're recommending, who knows, we're recommending everyone get in and get their people registered now.
Yeah, because you don't know whether it will continue, what they'll do, really.
Yeah, or what they'll do. So they're definitely not looking at bringing back JobKeeper at the moment, but this is a way to have 50% of your wages
It sort of achieves the same result, except you get training as well. So
yeah, which is just fantastic for all of your individuals.
Okay, so this is nothing to do with the current COVID stimulus in the different states. This is a federal scheme.
Federal scheme, totally separate. So we'll keep our left hand being Commonwealth, and we'll do some things in the right hand for each of the states.
And so the federal one is kind of sort of like JobKeeper, but you do qualifications as well, really.
Yeah, so you enroll your people. So any of your new workers, which are up to 90 days, you get them straight on. We've sort of got like 14, 15 different certificate 4 and diploma qualifications that they can do. Yeah, we'll show you those in a moment. And then you can, then all of your existing workers, we can look at a few of the qualifications that are available.
And do you have to have lost revenue or anything to
No, you don't have to have lost revenue or anything. You just need to find your people that are happy to wishing to upskill. And and things, and there's so many benefits for them to be doing that. And yes, it works. Here's some more of our little sheets that have come in as approval sheets this last week in all sorts of courses and things. So yeah, so businesses are definitely, it works, it's all legit, and yeah, it happens well.
Now I know you wanted to do this maths and just show people some numbers. So
yeah, so because you do get it up to $28,000 if you've got 5 participants after you've paid all your course fees, and in some states they'll definitely, they're free, but yeah, it's $111,000, so 110 grand that you're going to be rebated back into your bank account.
Right, that's not to be sneezed at.
No, not at all. And yes, it does come back into your bank account, because both you and I, Melanie, we know that we've received it, and it's not too hard to actually claim it, and you get reminders. So it's basically at the end of each quarter you put in the wage slips for your individual Sally and Fred who are on the program, and then the government looks at it, and over the next sort of 10 days looks at how much that you've paid them over that 3-month period, and they will rebate you half of it up to $7,000.
So the once you're approved, the claiming the money is pretty simple, and I know you're going to show them that in a moment.
Yeah,
it's a little bit fiddly to get approved, but we can step people through that.
Absolutely, we've got a nice little spreadsheet that helps people walk through it. But yeah, everybody that wishes to work with us, we give them their own account manager here at the office, and they will help work it through. They'll even set up all your meetings and everything for you as well. So yeah, we know it's hard out there at the moment for employers and coordinators, so where we can, we're just going to make it easy.
So you said that you talked about new employees, and I know you're going to cover the fact that there are a lot more course options for new employees than there are for existing. What do you mean by new employees? So can you explain this?
Okay, so anyone who has been with you for less than 90 days. So if you are a person that's seeking work, keep this in mind. You've got 90 days to get registered on the program. If you are new to an employer, you've got 90 days to get registered. And if you are an employer, the first people we would get to work through with you are your new employees.
So anyone who, what are we now, the end of August? So anyone who started from sort of the end of
May, June, July, yeah.
Right, then they should get cracking and get them signed up.
Get them signed up, because that way you've got half their wages up to, $28,000 covered for these next 12 months.
Right, and there's also a couple of extra bits for casuals and part-timers. Do you just want to explain that?
Yeah, so if you move them from a casual into a part-time or a full-time role, then they are classed as new workers as well. So that is just great, because just check your IR, because a lot of time casuals are actually being properly checked. Should have been part-timers anyway.
So you may not be any worse off to move them from casual to part-time, because they, depending on the employment law, they may have already been part-time and you just didn't know it.
Yes, and so and you're really wanting to keep that loyalty at the moment, and the security for the employees. This program just gives them that security. So
basically, if you've got a casual who's doing 60 hours a month, not a week, but a month, then you could put them onto a part-time program.
You can definitely.
So 15 hours a week.
15 hours a week averaged over the 12 months. Over the month.
And then you get half your wages back.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, so no, it is a really good scheme.
Okay, so what kind of courses can we do for those new people?
Okay, so for the new people, you'll see on the sheet here. Plus, if you get our kit from us, we've got them all listed. But lots of certificate 4s and diplomas. So your project management, your leadership and management, your business, local, HR and things. So we always recommend that people always have minimum of 2 qualifications. One that's industry or job specific, and then one for their career progression. So in all of these, you'll see lots of career progression ones, your project management, your business, your leadership and management. And then there's a couple of job specific ones, your HR, your civil construction and things like that will be job specific. But we always recommend people have at least a couple.
So you've got not all your eggs in one basket. Really.
Absolutely. It just gives you the diversity, and it gives you those promotional skills and a lot more employability skills for the employer as well, that people are growing through the ranks and understanding and having a broader mindset to actually what innovation they can bring to the business as well.
So if you're an employer and you've got someone who's newish with you or casually upgrading, and they've already got, say, a project management qualification, can you put them on another qualification through this program?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you don't have exactly the same specific qualification, you are allowed to have another one. So yeah,
what if they've got a PhD or something?
Absolutely. We've got people that do have PhDs on, doing a cert for environmental management sustainabilities, and they're finding the projects are just great and still finding all sorts of new things that they're doing and learning.
So if you've got any new employee, no matter how experienced, how qualified,
at what level, so we've got some managers, senior managers coming through, HR people coming through to the juniors as well. So your business people, if you just got a new little office girl that's just left year 12 at the end of last year, then a cert 4 in business is great for her to get her up and running and just give her that whole lifelong learning process as well.
And then we had a sales manager the other day signed on for the leadership and management diploma because he had lots of sales experience, but he really wanted to learn how to herd cats better.
And I look, because that world is hard out there at the moment. I was talking to somebody yesterday and literally she said, Anne, I need to get she said, I was made redundant in May. I have not been able to pick up work again at the moment yet, and I need to get some qualifications behind me to show that I've got that transference of skills. Even though I was coming out of a senior position, I just didn't have my quals. So she said, I really need something done.
To secure that. Now we have a question. Can the employer get one of these courses, or is it only for employees?
Okay, so that will be dependent. To go and talk to your accountant again. It's not designed, this one's not designed for the employer. So if you are the director of your own company, but if you are an employee of a company, then have a chat to your accountant. So
it's if you're a director or a major shareholder, generally no, but it depends how your business is structured.
And so again, have a chat to your accountant there. We can send you the link, and then they can just check out for you and your individual situation. But because it is a traineeship, we also need people that will supervise. You need a supervisor, and
so if you're the top dog, then
so often the business owner will be the supervisor for it.
So perhaps if you're a business owner, you put an employee on the course and then you use the wage subsidy to pay for your course.
Yes, we've got lots of that happening as well. So lots and lots of business owners that are doing courses with us, and lots of company coordinators, lots of HR people are on doing the programs with us, and then they're supervising and coordinating within their company, and they're coming on first so that they can then see and work out how it all works. And supervising, and that's working really well as well.
Now, you mentioned that it's possible to get this for some existing workers.
Yes.
And I know that there are some people who think that that's not possible at all. But can you explain in what circumstances it is possible and how that works?
Okay. We're having great success in getting lots of existing workers on. So what happened was the government ran it out at the end of last year, about October. They released the whole program and said it's open for existing and new workers. And a lot of the
we could all guess what happened there.
The big companies just came in and went, and stuffed all their people on, and then the program in November then sort of cut out. But what the government did was left a very small few qualifications on a very hidden background of an appendix, and it's appendix I actually. So
so far down it is.
So far down that they kind of went, it's still there, it is still legal, yes, we can use it, but it's very much buried. So, and our company's been lucky in that we have 3 qualifications on this appendix I list. We do a certificate 4 in civil construction supervision. So if you are a council or you're a civil construction company or any sort of construction company where you've got supervision supervisors out there, if they don't have their Cert 4 in civil construction supervision, get them to jump on and grab that one. That's part of it, the existing workers, so you'll get your 28,000.
So even if someone's worked for you for 20 years, they can still do
Absolutely, it? Yes. And they could have an advanced diploma or an engineering degree, but if they haven't got their Cert 4 civil supervision, then get them to do that.
So, and you'll kill two birds with one stone. You'll get that qualification and you'll get the 28,000.
Yeah. So it works really well. And these are such practical courses that it's great. Everybody loves doing them anyway, and things. So we have workplace health and safety. So safety is an issue in all businesses now. And because every time we've got somebody working from home as a business owner, that's another workplace that we have to be supervising. So I've got multiple at the moment. I don't like to even think about it. And then, so workplace health and safety we've got on. So anybody that you're in, so we've got real estate agents that have got coming on the safety programs.
So you couldn't put your whole team on, but you could pick a couple of people and make them safety officers
and say and
put them on the workplace health and safety course and claim the wage subsidy.
Yes, and we're offering that course with some electives as well. So people that want to do project management, we're using the electives in there, leadership and management, things like that. So the workplace health and safety is available in all states. And just have a good reason as to why you need some new safety officers.
Yeah,
which now is a great time because of COVID. Yeah, we're all needing it. The other one we're doing is the Cert 4 in environmental management sustainability, and that is really good for office managers that have any WHS responsibilities.
So that's only in a couple of locations.
Yes, New South Wales and Western Australia, but we're definitely getting approvals through for environmental management sustainability.
And so you're just starting to say about office managers. So obviously anyone who's working in environmental or safety kind of roles can do this.
Yes, absolutely.
But also if you're an office manager with that sort of general responsibility for risk management and sort of stuff. Yeah,
then you're eligible there as well. So it's not available. So we haven't got something for absolutely all of your employees that are existing. But definitely most businesses have found that we've got something for a couple of them.
So at the end of the session, you're going to give people a link to a Google sheet, and if they want to put their people's details in, we can figure out who might be eligible for them.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
So costs, what about course fees? Because it's one thing getting a $28,000 wage subsidy, but if you're paying $29,000 for the course, it probably won't out.
Well, the good thing is that Melanie and I can't go on a cruise at the moment anyway, so we're not looking to take any extra. Usually I used to ask everyone, send me a cruise ticket. Yeah,
no, not
what's
so
course
much.
cost? The course cost is this plus cruise ticket, but today don't need the cruise ticket.
Rather not, thank you.
No, so typically the courses range from $5,000 to $7,000. So out of $28,000, even if you have to pay for it, you're still going to have $20,000 plus in your pocket. Right. Now we have risk-free guarantees. We don't take any dollars up front
until you're approved,
until all your people are approved and everything. So until everything's all gone through, and then we have deposits and then payment as the new dollars basically have come back in from your wage subsidy as well. Okay. So the fees aren't meant to be the barrier here at all. It's just flows through. And if they're in New South Wales and if you're in New South Wales and you're a new employee, or remember if you're looking for that job, then your course will be free.
Completely free.
Completely free.
So the employer gets to keep the whole $28,000 in New South Wales.
Plus all of the extra incentives and things that we'll talk about as well. Okay. Yeah.
And you're going to mention the construction subsidy later as well, aren't you?
Yes. If you happen to be in Queensland,
So let's talk about some of the other subsidies then. What other subsidies are there for courses as opposed to wage subsidies?
Okay, so 4 courses out there at the moment. So if you are in New South Wales Smart and Skilled, it comes under a Smart and Skilled program, they're free for the existing workers. So we say thank you very much to the New South Wales government. So we were doing Commonwealth with this hand and we got the other states with this one.
You're going to need like 7 more hands.
I will need an octopus. Okay, so New South Wales government, we say thank you very much to them. They are fully supporting and paying for the training fees for all of their new workers. And they've got some other things coming up. In Queensland, we say thank you very much to the construction industry who have really poured some dollars into keeping their people employed and upskilled at the moment. And that's called Construction Skills Queensland. And they will do a sort of probably 50 to 70% subsidy on the course fees.
And those ones are under the headline Can Work With Back. What do you mean by that?
So it means that, so I have lots of employers that will claim put their people on the wage subsidy program for under the back programs, and so in the Cert 4 in environmental management or workplace health and safety or the civil construction courses, and then CSQ will subsidise that as well, so they'll have a couple of grand less. So for example, one of the courses is only sort of $1,500 then is all the employer has to pay.
Okay, and if your people aren't eligible for the back wage subsidy, like say they are existing workers and it's not one of those courses doesn't suit them, there are some other training subsidies for them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have skills checkpoint. If your people are over 45, then they can receive $2,000 towards their training course. And that works really well. And even if you haven't used it all up, I've just had one for this morning for a lady called Sarah she said, Anne, I've still got $685 left. And she said, I've just finished my course with you. What can I use it towards for my next
so it doesn't
course?
have to be just on one course.
No, you can keep going. So Sarah's looking forward to, so we were then working out for Sarah what units she would have to do, what left for her next project management course, and then, and using her $685 that she's still got left.
Okay.
And so skilling for recovery comes under the job trainer. So job trainer is a federal and state combined. They actually talked together for this one.
Right.
Okay. So, and that's so the federal government have gone to the states and said, hi, we really want training out there for the people. These will be either free or low cost courses. And they're all in negotiation still at the moment because the treasurers aren't necessarily getting on. I think there's a bit of friction of rubbing our left and right hands together. But it was announced in the budget that they were going to release a swack load more dollars. So we are expecting that to come out. The current contract's finishing by the end of September. So the new ones are...
Well, hopefully they'll be out before then.
Yeah, they'll be out. So some of the states like, because we've got contracts in South Australia and New South Wales, they're still releasing and finalising what dollars they still had left from their last September to this one. And so there's some new programs coming out. And then in the other ones, there's all states will have new dollars and things out after October.
Now, one of the biggest challenges that I keep hearing from people, and I'm sure this is probably enhancing that, is that there's so many things to choose from. How do I know which one is right for me? So if people are listening right now and they're feeling like that, like now, okay, that's great, there's all this money, but where do I even start?
Yeah, so basically come back to us individually and we'll help you work
figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But basically, if you are unemployed at the moment, looking for work between jobs, then type in the word job trainer and access everything you can through there. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an employer, number one, look at the back program and get that job security, the job security for the 12 months and that rebatable income for the next 12 months, because that's a long-term 12-month program.
Okay.
And it's got that security and peace of mind and security at the moment is just so important.
People need that, but a certainty wouldn't go astray.
No, it's really, really beneficial.
Okay, so and just the process of claiming, I know you mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to just tell people quickly, once they get through all this, it's actually quite easy to get the money, isn't it?
It is. So basically, on the 12-month back wage program and funding, basically you identify, we give you a spreadsheet, you identify your people, you keep working with us, we set them up for, identify what program's going to be great for them. We set them up with a meeting with the apprenticeship centre mob who come in or virtually do it now over the phone. It's not at all painful. They don't pull teeth or anything. You sign up for your wage claim there. At the end of each quarter, they then send you a reminder note. We then get in these lovely little forms to say these are the permission forms.
And start training. We
start get the enrolment forms done and start training and works through normally for training. And then at the end of each quarter, they send you this reminder letter that says, hi, put your wage slips in. And then you get paid into the bank account.
Right. So sort of like JobKeeper and a bunch of those, once it's approved, it's really not hard.
It's just working through it and understanding what's going to be best for you at the beginning.
And what's that email on the right hand side there?
Okay, that's just a claim. That's just one of the examples to show that yes, it was a real thing. So says how I claim it and stick it up.
Click here to get your money.
Click here to get your money. You get your wages rebated.
Sure.
But keep in mind that's 12 months of security from when you start. And that security, the government have guaranteed that they will be doing that for the next 12 months.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
And keep dropping questions in, anybody if you've got them. And we're just going to move on and talk about some of the other wage subsidies. But I'm sure there are questions. If there's not, we've either told them everything or completely confused them. Okay, Yeah, so let's talk about other wages. So we talked about other course subsidies.
Yes.
But there are other wage subsidies as well. So this is where people get really confused.
Yeah, okay. This is where you need to keep your two hands separated, and then keep in mind that some of them they will try and work together, but these ones are very separate. So from the Commonwealth Government, the back wage subsidy is what you keep in mind there. That's at 12 months for those new and existing workers. Okay, in the other hand, you've got your state governments. Now, each of the state governments are working independently at the moment because of COVID and everything extra, because each state has been affected very differently. So in New South Wales, if you're in New South Wales at the moment, the word you're going to be hearing a lot about is called Job Saver. Okay, now Job Saver is designed for being able to get some dollars very quickly back into the employer's bank accounts to help pay for wages. So they are, good on you, New South Wales government. You have really worked hard on this one, and and that program's working really well. So if you unfortunately have you're in New South Wales and you've had up to 30% drop in your turnover, and you can show that, go talk to your accountant as to how you can show that to the New South Wales government. They are doing 40% of your payroll paid fortnightly, and that's not capped to the an amount either.
So if you've got someone who's on big salary, you can still get 40%.
You can still get 40% of their wages back, and it's flowing back in very quickly. So within that sort of fortnight, 10 days. So New South Wales government have really put some effort in to helping business owners back in that way that have been affected.
Okay, and they can claim that. Plus, if you've got anybody on the back program,
yes,
same person can claim both.
Absolutely, yes, because again they're very separated, and the guidelines show clearly that yes, you can. So you could be getting up to 90% of those people's wages back at the moment. And in this one, your sole traders are eligible. So where we were looking at before, if you're the business owner, you may not be eligible under this one, under the back program, but under this one, you could certainly be eligible here.
And there's two amounts, as I understand it, for sole traders, depending on what your turnover was. But I think it's $750 if you were turning over less than $75,000 a year, and $1,000 that's per week if you're turning over more. So it's good that there's something there for sole traders.
Yeah, it is. So again, we do thank New South Wales government for that. And on the sheet that we can send out, we've got the links for you to be able to access that one. But so Melanie and I don't control the budget on that one, so you'll have to go and talk to your accountant on that one. But we just want you to know that there is help out there, and there is things there for you in that one. Okay, in Victoria. Okay, so if you happen to be one of the Victoria people that are also into the lockdown, you've got some different things down there. Type in the words Jobs Victoria for all of your new hires. If you're looking at putting on, you've got you can employ
20% more.
Yeah, 20% more employees to what you've got, and there's sort of up some great grants there. So you get up to 20 grand per person if you're putting on someone down there, plus they're half their wages. The thing that's sort of $48,000.
And that new hires one, or that Jobs Victoria one, when we're looking at it with somebody yesterday, depends. The 20,000 depends on the person. So if you're hiring women over 45, you get $20,000.
Right, yep.
If you're hiring anyone under 25, you get 10,000. But there's plus you get your other 50% from the back subsidy. So yeah, you can go close to just about covering the cost of the new hire.
And Melanie and I'll both tell you that hiring women over 45 would be a really good idea.
Yeah, for us. Hang on a minute, we're not over 45. All right, what about Queensland?
Okay, so Queensland's got some different scenarios as well. So if you've hired for anyone from the 1st of June, go back and have a look at those people, because they've got lots of different subsidies as well. I know, Melanie, you've looked at a couple of different ones for these guys.
Yeah. Yes, so we and we've used a couple of them ourselves in our business. So if you hire, if you've hired anyone and put them on a traineeship since the 1st of June, then you should be able to get $20,000 from the state government. There are a few postcodes that are excluded. So anywhere in regional Queensland is okay. If you're in southeast Queensland and one of the more affluent postcodes, if it's right, then you wouldn't be eligible. So Brisbane City, Sunshine Coast, and Gold Coast not eligible, but Moreton and Caboolture is eligible, and all the regional areas. So you can get them for hiring, putting someone on a traineeship, you can get them for hiring someone under 25. There's a few different sort of little detailed rules around them, but we've put the links on the sheet to explain.
Yeah, so we're working with a real estate agent up, North Queensland, and was putting some new people on.
They've got 4 new staff in their office, and they're all young people, and they've all had 4 weeks of unemployment, which is one of the criteria for young people. So he's got 4 school leavers that he's hired, and he's getting 20,000 each for putting them on, plus he's getting the other 28,000 as the wage subsidy. So I think they ended up costing him 8,000 per year to hire them.
Wow.
So why? I mean, now's a great opportunity to hire some people, which I know is probably the opposite of what people are thinking about right now. But if you've got things that you'd like to try out and see if they work.
Yeah, we've got lots of projects and innovations and things that we're having to work through at the moment. Some of ours have actually been pushed on us by the government, but others are actually that we are streamlining and doing things in our business, and the wage subsidy is certainly helping us be able to manpower that.
It's almost counterintuitive, isn't it, that at the moment, at the time when everyone's thinking about battening down their hatches, there are so many subsidies out there that you could go and hire 5 new people. It would cost you maybe $40,000 for the whole lot of them.
Yeah.
And think of what you could do in your business for that over a year.
And looking at going forward. So
yeah,
what
could you reinvent to actually make it work for the future?
Yeah, if you were to look around this room here, and we've got lots of whiteboards, and this is where we spend a lot of our time here just drawing on the whiteboards, going this scenario and that scenario, and what can we actually do, and how can we maximize it, and how can we resource it at the moment.
If we hear the word pivot again, we're going to strangle somebody, because I reckon every second week something changes in policy that means that we have to reinvent what we're doing here. So we know what it's like.
We do, definitely. So while we might be smiling, we are definitely there with you and working through these challenges. And why do we know this stuff? Because we have to keep finding it, because it all keeps changing on us. And all the employers that we work with just keep asking us, now what's happening here, Anne? So that's why we thought we'd just do a big update here today.
Share with everyone in one go.
Yeah. Now, there is a range of other short-term COVID business grants as well. Now, each state are running their own, and the easiest way to find those is just literally type in COVID business grants Queensland, COVID business grants New South Wales. And
we put a whole bunch of links on the sheet as well.
Yeah, and the links are on the sheet. But there are lots of other grants out there available. Now, they will be short-term. And looking at, so in Queensland, basically they only had a lockdown for a week, and so but there was grants going for that particular week. So you just got to be able to jump on and things. But yeah,
because there are a few that expire. There's on the links, there are some in Queensland that you have to be applied for within the next week or so. So
so do get cracking, have a look at those, spend a bit of time with your cup of coffee going, and your Panadol beside you, and go and have a look. But just type in business grants in each year's states.
Now we've got some more questions. We're getting close to the end, but just before we do, let's just answer these last couple of questions. So what about not-for-profits, charities? Can they get any of these subsidies?
Yes.
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah, so definitely all of the back ones for the wage subsidy and the new employees or existing employees. The only people that can't are federal and state governments. So yeah, your not-for-profits definitely. Worked with a lot of not-for-profits in doing the skills, the plus 45, $2,000 grant. A lot to do that with those people.
Yeah, so certainly the 50% wage subsidy, you can be a not-for-profit, and so who's not eligible for that 50% back subsidy? There
was only the state and the federal government departments.
Everybody else can get it.
Basically, everybody else can get it. So yeah, good for that.
One more question. So in terms of the wage subsidy, does the government pay the employer, and then the employer pays for the course based on the course fee?
Yeah.
Or is it $7,000 per quarter, not basis on the courses approved? Like, can you explain how that works?
Yeah, so basically depending what state you are and whether they're new or existing workers, but we'll just take it that you are paying the course fees, it's easier. Basically, you pay us the course fees and the money comes back into your bank account from the government. So you're kind of paying it out of it, but it doesn't actually as a line manage across it.
But we can manage the timing for people.
Yes.
And you wouldn't be paying any course fees until you were approved and we're getting money from the government, etc. And if it's a free course, then obviously that's so if you're in New South Wales and you've put on a new person in the last 90 days or planning to put one on, then it's basically a free course, and you just sign this to say the permission that you're going to look at, supervise them at work and know that they're on a course, and then we put it through the government department, and the government department pays us as your student progresses through the course, your person. So there's a bunch of other links which we don't need to go through now, but we'll send out to people about the different But there are a bunch of other incentives, like if someone starts a course and they don't have any previous qualifications, you get another $1,500. If they finish it, you get another $2,500. There's
payroll tax, payroll tax rebates and things. I think there's some stuff, work cover rebates. Everything. A lot of people will be, if you're in the construction industry, then you get lots of brownie points to getting on major projects if you've got people signed up as being learners and things like that on different projects as well.
Right.
So there's so many advantages of actually having people on being training at the moment.
And actually, I just gave people some misinformation. It's the Victorian grants that close next week.
Okay.
And the Queensland ones have just opened.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, yeah.
Okay. So once we've got past all this funding stuff, just quickly give us the 2-minute rundown on how training would actually work, because obviously people can't come to courses right now.
No, so basically we've been on online training for over 10 years. So COVID to us did not upset our business for training. Our people are all mature age like workers, like Wendy that's sitting in the photo there. Wendy's been training with us for, she was a 2009 or 10 student with us. And so, yeah, so she's back doing more courses and different things as well. I think she graduates tomorrow night. So yeah, that will be exciting. And then we've got, so basically they have phone sessions with their trainer every fortnight or once a month. And then they also have regular sessions with their completion coaches. And the completion coach.
So it's not just send them and then can abandon them. Then.
No, so everything is available to them online. So they use their laptops and or their desktop computers. They have big fat buttons everywhere. It's all designed. We've been working for over 10 years with civil construction people that are supervisors, foremen from councils and things. So more, a lot of outdoor staff that are not techie kind of wanting to be. Right. So everybody gets to use big buttons and really simple things.
And no essays.
No, there's no exams, no essays. The most they're going to have to write is, at a diploma level is 6 to 8 sentences, and a cert 4 to 6 sentences. They're using your workplace policies and procedures to answer all of their assessments. So they answer some questions to show their knowledge, and then they fill out lots of different forms and templates and things based on employers' work scenarios and projects as their assessments. But yes,
so it's really practical.
It is. It's really super duper practical, and we expect that everybody is a grown up and actually, do things. There's no silly little activities in booklets.
Okay, cool. And what if you've got groups? Like obviously we can't do workshops anymore in the traditional sense. But
yeah, so with this modern technology, we're still running workshops with companies. We get to Zoom in the trainer, and you can still do at the other end activities and things happening. And we've got a video that we've made to show employers how this can actually work. And it's called Making Change Stick. So we've made it looking at a topic that, how do you get change to stick in your organisation? And so we've done that. So
it's actually a recording of a real life
session. Of a real life session. So we can show you that. Our training can also be done for people that are working from home at the moment, and we can connect in lots of different people from each of their home bases over their Zoom sessions. We have breakout rooms and things as well, so people can still go off and discuss.
So they can all be in different locations, or yes, they can all be in one location and then the trainers at another. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. So we've got lots of that sort of thing. So if you've got a group of people that you want to be working on, we can definitely be looking at how do we impact with your policy procedures, your company culture. How can all of that still get trained? Awesome. Okay, people, drop your last questions into the chat, because we're getting very close to the end, and we've just got one question here. Are the courses accredited nationally? Yes, so these are all, yes, they are. So our registered training number is RTO number 31192, which they gave me 16 years ago. So no, they're all the latest diplomas and we do advanced diplomas as well. So they're all government accredited? Government accredited, yeah, all around the country. We've got permission for delivering in each of the states. And our people then, when they're finished an advanced diploma, will often go through to university, and they can skip up to 3 years of uni. So we've got a lot of people who will do an advanced diploma of leadership management with us, and then go on to straight into their direct entry MBAs, cool, if they're really wanting to do career pathing. So we career path people from like a leading hand all the way through to frontline and within management. So the first sort of line of levels of management all the way through to senior management. Okay. So our courses are not aimed for 18-year-olds. They're aimed for experienced people who have got workplace experience and are trying to advance their careers.
Yes, so we do have a couple of courses for the young people, so if you are bringing on that school leaver, so our Cert 4 in business is a great introductory course for them.
Okay, cool. All right, a couple more questions. Oh, here's a really good question, actually. What happens to the subsidies if the employee doesn't finish the training?
Okay, so part of that is that they will be progressing on their training. Okay, so if we actually have to report that they're not actually doing anything or they leave, then the subsidy does stop. So it does need to be that you actually do consult with the person that they do want to actually do the course at the beginning.
But if they say they're doing their course and they're chipping away, because you want the course to take 12 months.
It's got to take 12 months so that you can get the wage subsidy over the 12 months.
But say they get halfway through and they've been chipping away and then they leave or something, does the employer have to pay it back?
No, so there's no payment back at all. It's just working through with them.
Okay.
But the courses are not hard because they will relate to their jobs. And there's no exams, no essays. So as long as they're happy to be digging into your company policies, procedures, answering some questions, even if they don't like to type, we can even interview them, or we actually show them that they can talk it out, record it, and it types the answers for them now.
So we'll make it pretty easy for them.
Yeah.
Okay. What about, here's another question. For existing staff, are there only those 3 course options? Okay,
that's all that we've got with our company. There is a couple of extra on this very small limited thing. So if you are, barbering is still on things. If you are training and wanting to be a barber, then that's still on.
As in hair cutting?
Yeah, as in hair cutting. There is a data and voice communication sort of
There's
course.
A few IT courses on there, aren't there, that are specialist ones, like computer gaming and stuff like that.
There's a ESI Power Systems Transmission Overhead Level 3. So if that's your industry.
So if anyone wants a copy of that list, that Appendix I, can we send it to them?
Yeah, we can. There's very few sort of general sort of courses on there, but you can do a couple of different traineeships as well. So you can do one and claim the dollars and then use those $28,000 to actually be getting some other training done.
And actually we had one the other day, real estate agent who needs to do the certificate 4 in real estate so that the person has a license, but they don't want it to take 12 months because they need them working.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't take 12 months, the wage subsidy would stop. So they enrolled them in a dual qualification. They enrolled them in the certificate 4 in business under the traineeship so they can get 12 months of wage subsidy, and then in the cert 4 in real estate as a quick get it done in a few weeks and get them going. So and they paid for one and got the other one subsidized.
We're working a lot with that with a lot of employers, where we're sort of looking at what is a course that is good for them over that 12 months. So a lot of them are doing workplace health and safety over the 12 months and then using a lot of that extra $22,000 that they've still got left to actually gain another qualification with us that they need to done quicker or want done quicker as well, or for other people in their organisation.
And you guys are pretty good at dual qualification. So if someone wants to do 2, you can work out what units are overlap, so you minimise the extra work for the second one.
Yes, we work all of that through. So we really work for the employer and the employee to what's going to be really good for them and their business and them with their career moving forward as well.
So second to last slide, I know you touched on this, but do you just want to remind people about the risk or the lack of risk?
It is a process to get through, but you work with us, we get through as to what you are eligible and different things for it. We do have 100% risk-free guarantee, so you don't pay us anything until your people have been approved, and the wage subsidy has been approved as well, and the people are enrolled and up and running.
Okay, and then you do have you pay a deposit and then pay the balance.
Yeah.
So we really want to make it easier for people, hey? Okay, last thing, what do they need to do now?
Okay, so basically just give us an email back to wageSubsidy@globaltraining.edu.au and we will send you a copy of your Google spreadsheet that you can start just even identifying people in the workplace, and we can put down that we can chat with them about Sally or Fred, and then what Sally or Fred may be eligible for and what your business may be eligible for as well.
So if you basically tell us, I've got these people, this is their job, this is their qualifications, then we can help you figure out if you can claim anything, and if so, what you can get. So just keep in mind that look at your anyone that you've put on in that last 3 months. Yeah, that's probably the urgent bit, isn't it?
Yeah, they're the urgent ones, and they're the most simplest to get us up and sort of rolling. So yeah, you keep in mind that that's under the federal, so the Commonwealth. So we're looking at the back program for either your new, definitely all your new workers and your existing and anyone you want to put on, and then keep all of those other incentives and things with it. And then you've also got your state wage subsidies, as well as the training subsidies.
And actually, I know for the Queensland subsidy, you've got to claim it within 12 weeks of them starting, which is actually just slightly less than 90 days.
Right,
yeah. It's 84 days or something. So what are you suggesting, that people do the new workers first and then worry about the others later?
Yeah, so yeah, we get in and do the new workers first. So a lot of people will just on their spreadsheet list all of their half their employees, then we'll go through and work it individually through. With an account manager.
So if people want a Google Sheet to start trying to figure it out, if they want those links,
send us that email to Wage Subsidy.
If there's anything that we've talked about that you want, just email us.
Or pick us up on the phone, 1800 998 500.
You mean we talk to people?
We do.
What was the number again? Sorry.
1800 998 500. And that's the first thing we drill into each of our new students' brains. What's the phone number to give us a call? 1800 998 500.
So we actually, that's taken us nearly an hour, so much for 30 minutes.
Oh,
but hopefully it was more interesting than listening to the Premier's press conference.
Yeah, one of the things we do is that we have to be looking after the mental health and things of our people. So we play lots of games and do activities with all of our staff around. So this week we're having a bad dress day tomorrow, and everybody has to bring a bad joke. So Melanie has volunteered some of her bad jokes for now. So we're going to finish off.
We are finishing, but if you would like to stick around for another 20 seconds and hear my bad joke, you're welcome.
Okay, so here's Melanie's bad joke in preparation for tomorrow's bad dress and bad joke day.
This is really quite embarrassing, because it's really bad. A set of traffic lights were stolen from the Sydney CBD on Saturday night. Police have said some people will stop at nothing. Oh, that's really terrible. I think we've left them with a really bad impression. Sorry,
you got another one.
Okay, one more. Have you ever played silent tennis? It's the same as normal tennis without the racket. I'd like to give credit to my brothers for that. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to stop and let people go back to work.
Yeah, okay. Just give us a call or send us an email if we can help you at all. I hope this has been informative and helpful for you today.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks.